happy Wednesday. Let's get this done. All right, so for 37, and again, I'm still on the end of year take home test. It says, which statement is a valid conclusion? A says angle 4 and angle 8 form a linear pair. That just means they're on a straight line together, and that is accurate. B says 2 and 7 form vertical angles. That's not true because they are actually alternate interior angles. Vertical would be like 2 and 5. 6 and 7 are complementary. That's not true. They definitely do not add up to be 90 degrees. And then D says 1 and 2 are congruent. That means they're the exact same angle measure, and that's also not true. So A is a statement with a valid conclusion. Number 38, so you have lengths of legs on a right triangle. So it's telling you that your A and B are 9 and 12, and it says what is the length in feet of your third side. So you've got 9 and 12. And then, so you're looking for the third side. Since these are your legs, you're looking for the hypotenuse. So you're going to do 9 squared plus 12 squared, and that's going to equal your C squared. So 81 plus 144. So if I plug that in, 81 plus 144, that gives me 225. And then your last step for Pythagorean theorem is always to take the square root last, and the square root of 225 is a solid 15. So B would be your answer for 38. 39 is pretty similar question to that. You're looking for this length right here, just to kind of make sure the answer is not A. To be sure they wouldn't do that to you, but it could be. So let me just check. 3 squared plus 7 squared. That is 58, so the square root of 58 would be your answer. All right, number 40. I definitely wanted to go over this one because this is actually asking you midpoint. So it gives you all of these coordinates around a circle, and then it's asking you for the actual location of the communication buoy. So it's asking you for this point. So you could kind of create a right triangle and do it that way. But in Math 1, you're going to learn the midpoint formula. So this is the midpoint between this distance. And it's really just the average of your x's divided by 2, and then the average of your y's divided by 2. So 10 plus 34 would give you 44. 44 divided by 2 is 22. And then 20 plus 13 would give you 33. And then 33 divided by 2 would give you 16 and a half. Just to check my math. Divided by 2. Look at me. Okay. So 16 and a half. So that would be the ordered pair for your buoy. So 22, 16 and a half would be C. Okay. 42, it says you've got a quadrilateral and it's asking you what is the perimeter. So we need to add up the straight sides first. We do not have to do Pythagorean theorem with those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have a side length of PQ of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, side length of 6. And then I need to do Pythagorean theorem to find out these because these are not like straight across my coordinate grid. So I've got side lengths of 8 and 3, and I'm missing my hypotenuse. So 8 squared plus 3 squared is 73. The square root of 73 is 8.5. So this right here is 8.5. And then I've got 2 squared plus 11 squared. And that's going to give me 125. The square root of 125 is about 11.2. And then these are the 4 numbers that I'm going to add together to find the perimeter of my quadrilateral. So I'm going to add 8 plus 8.5 plus 6 plus 11.2. And that's going to give me 33.7. And that matches with B. All right, number 43. It talks about a thermos that's in the shape of a cylinder and it's being filled with hot chocolate. Your radius for that cylinder is 4 inches, and then your height is 12. And it says which formula can be used to find the number of cubic inches of hot chocolate needed to completely fill the thermos. So I'm going to be utilizing the cylinder formula for volume, and that's where you're filling up an empty space. So pi, we know, is approximately 3.14. It does give us the radius, so 4 squared would be 16, 4 times 4. And then lastly, the height is 12, and I'm looking for which one matches that formula, and that would be A. Gonna skip around, leave you a few to do. I definitely wanted to also go over 46. So it gives you ordered pairs of X and Y, and it asks you which one of these relationships do you see. So what I did was I went to Stat Edit, and I entered all of my X's into L1, and then I entered all of my Y's in L2. I need to go to Y equals and make sure the plot 1 is highlighted. That's going to turn on my plot. And then I'm going to hit graph. If I did not see the scatter plot, zoom 9 is the statistical zoom, and it'll make it where you can see all your points. If you were to draw a line in the middle of your data, it would have a negative slope, and that's linear, because I could easily draw a straight line down. So the relationship that's existing between my data is going to be negative, and that matches B. Number 47 is a used car dealer keeping records of the selling price of his cars in 2005. And the scatter plot showing the average selling price. But the question says, what is the range? Well, range is always going to be your highest value minus your lowest value. So just take note that on the y-axis, our selling prices are in thousands. So it's not $20. It would be $20,000. And then the lowest price value, it looks to be $5,000. So that is my lowest price. And then I'm going to subtract those two amounts, and you're going to get 15,000. So the range from your highest to lowest is 15,000, and that is B. Number 48, you have a graph that's showing student test scores on a math test. Whoop, whoop. And it says which equation would best fit the data. So I went ahead and drew a line, and then I just picked 2 points that I knew that were really easily readable for me. All of your y-intercepts are 67, and that actually works because you're in between 60 and 70, and you're closer to 70. So that doesn't allow you to eliminate any choices. But what does allow you to eliminate some choices is the fact that this is a positive linear model, and C has a negative slope. So your line would have to be going down in order for it to be C. So now I just need to figure out if it's A or B. So I wrote down my 2 ordered pairs, like this was the y-intercept, 0.67, and this was 490 about. So I'm just going to find slopes so I can figure out which one of these slopes would best work for our line. So 90 minus 67, 90 minus 67 is going to equal 23. And then 23 divided by 4, I think it's like 5.75. I entered that wrong. Okay, 23 divided by 4. Yeah, 5.75. So the slope that has closest to 5.75 would be A. So A would be the best equation that molded with the data. All right, 49. After you read it, X is talking about the number of years after 1900. So this is however many years. So if you do, it's asking me to predict for 2100. So if I subtract 1900, that's going to give me 200 years. So 200 years occurred during this time. So I can plug into the equation they gave me where X is 200, and that's going to best give me the mean number of people per square mile. So if I plug in 200 into the equation, that's going to be 0.62 times the 200 years past 1900 plus 1554. And I get 139.5, so that's definitely closest to D. Okay. And then 50. So the thing to really make sure you understand is the difference between filling out a two-way table with percentages versus actual numbers. So these, like, this is not showing me the total number of females or the total number of males. It's telling me, okay, 54% of the total male voters voted for candidate K. And then 46% of the total male voters voted for L. So just kind of keep that in mind when we read these about which statement must be true. A said there were 54 males voted for candidate K. Well, that is not true because it's 54% of the males. Unless there are 100 exact males, you don't know that it's 54. B says of the students who voted, 50% were females. That is not true. Again, we do not know that. And even if we did, it doesn't match any of the percentages that we have in our table. And then C says there were 4% more votes for candidate L than candidate K. And that is true. Because if I do 52% minus the 48%, I do get 4% difference. D is kind of tricky because D says the number of female votes for candidate L was greater than the number of male votes. You cannot compare males and females because we don't know the total number of males. So even though when we look at it, the number of female votes was greater percentage-wise, we don't know that that was actually more votes. It was more of a percentage of the female population than the male population. So the best answer is going to be C, and that is 50. I hope this helps. Have a blessed day.